Money Monday is starting soon. Money Monday is starting soon. Sing it if you know it. Money Monday is starting soon. Money Monday is starting soon. Money Monday, Money Monday, starting soon. Hi everyone, going to be starting in just a moment, just as soon as I am able to share this to my wall. There we go. Boom. All right. Pull this up nice and big. Fantastic. All right, so here I come, here I come, here I come, get my mark, here I come, here I come. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Money Monday. I am, as always, Henry, your friend in finance, and making sure, there I go. It showed up on the screen right there. Perfect. So welcome to another episode of Money Monday. I'm very excited to have you here with me today, because today we're going to be talking about something pretty topical. We're going to be talking about the Olympics. I'm going to be referencing a book which I think everybody should read. It's called Barking Up the Wrong Tree. It's all about how science and statistics can actually show us some of the big things that can help make people successful. Let me actually erase this now, because we not only are not starting soon, we're starting now. Before we do get started, I do want to just invite you all, if you haven't yet, give us a like here on Facebook, or you can head on over to our YouTube page. I included a link in the description. You can go to our YouTube page and give us and subscribe to us there. Once you're subscribed there, you'll actually have access to a comprehensive library of all the Money Mondays that we've done so far. If you like these videos, I also encourage you to share these videos. You never know who these videos are going to help, even if it's just something where people kind of feel like, oh, hey, I'm not crazy for thinking this kind of thing. So give us a like, give us a share. We definitely appreciate it. If at any point in time you like some of the things that we're talking about here and you wonder how you could apply this in your life, go ahead and book an appointment with us, totally free. I included the link in the description. So you can book an appointment with us. It'll be an hour-long consultation where we can actually talk about what's important to you, where you are in life, and how you can start applying some of these things to your own finances. But today we're going to be talking about Olympics and Olympiads, which are obviously all over the news because they are doing amazing things. Olympiads, because these athletes are doing amazing things right now over in Tokyo. They're pushing the Olympics are a great celebration of human potential and how much humans can accomplish, can achieve. Just thinking about the times that that some of these people ran, like the 100-meter dash. It's like less than 10 seconds to run 100 meters. That would take me a lot longer. So it's really incredible what people are doing over there. And again, this is from the this is actually straight out from the book Barking Up the Wrong Tree by Eric Baker, I think his name is. Again, I have the link in the description. But one of the things that we don't realize about people is that there's actually a very thin line between being accomplishing something great and then also not being weird and being thought of as a loser. Nobody's a loser, but being thought of as a loser, and that includes Olympiads. And what the secret ends up coming down to is it's all about context. We're all weird. I'm weird. You probably noticed that already. You're weird. You probably know that already too. We're all weird. But the thing is that weirdness in the right context ends up being really, really special. For instance, let's take a look let's think about Michael Phelps. Some of you might remember that name. I hope you do. He was a swimmer, won, I think, like the most gold medals ever. He set a record for like gold medals won or something like that. Now, this strikes close to home for me, because you might know that a normal person, the average person, if you have them stick their arms out, if you measure from fingertip to fingertip, that comes out to being roughly about equal to their height for most people. So you can actually think of people as like kind of like a square. Boop, head. That's both of their feet down there, and boom. Very short feet. I do that pretty badly. This is actually more of a rectangle. This is actually more like Michael Phelps. One of the things that made Michael Phelps really special. Let me actually make this more like a regular person here. Boop, boop. Yeah. One of the things that made Michael Phelps really special was if you actually looked at him, this is obviously an exaggeration, but he has head, boom. He had tiny, strong legs and long arms as well. Because of that, that's what ended up helping him push water out of the way faster than anybody else. It was actually it was in his genetics that he was basically like an otter. He took to water so well, and that's what made him so special. That combined with his fighting spirit, his competitive nature, that's what made him an Olympiad. That's what made him break so many records. But if we take him out of that context, if we take him out of the water, if we suddenly went, hey, Mike, you want to play basketball? He wasn't, I don't think he was that tall. I don't think he was even that tall. I actually don't remember his height. But, I mean, chances are he's not, with short legs, he's not going to actually be able to jump too high. So you probably are going to do a pretty decent job against him on the basketball court. Conversely, if we look at basketball players who are pretty much all over 6 feet, I mean, they can do some amazing things. They can score dozens of points a game, playing against some of the other best people in their sport. But then, if you ask a basketball player, "Hey, why don't you do some gymnastics?" In that different context, they will not do well at all. Why? Because their center of gravity is just way too high. One of the things that Eric Baker ended up discovering, and he put in his book, Barking Up the Wrong Tree, is that what we view as imperfections end up becoming, it's better to think of them as magnifiers. Magnifiers. They magnify things. And that's why it's important to put those imperfections in the right context. In the right context, suddenly, rather than magnifying the imperfection, we magnify how correct it is for that context. And that's what made people like Michael Phelps stand out so well. That's Simone Biles. I mean, she is literally the best. She's also, I think she's really short. And so she's probably, in a different context, put her in an ice hockey team, wouldn't be doing as well. But she is the single best gymnastics player ever. Why? Because she's got these magnifiers. Her small height ends up making her able to have better balance, better center of gravity, and that's what ends up helping her do all these tricks. Magnifiers. Now you're probably wondering, why am I talking about Olympiads? Why am I talking about magnifiers? And what does this have to do with finance? It all comes down to what we view as imperfections. We're going to be coming back down. I'm going to come back to that word, imperfections, and how there's nothing that's really an imperfection. Imperfection. I'm going to write it up here just so I can cross it out. Imperfection. Again, we want to think in terms of magnifiers. So, no such thing as imperfections. This is true in your life as well. I hope you realize this. Your quote imperfections in the right context would actually be perfect. It's all about finding the right context for ourselves, and that way it becomes a magnifier for our achievement. And that's true for so many things. For instance, me, I like numbers, but I also like people. It led me to theater when I was first entering the professional world, but now I get to connect with people in a completely different way through finance, and that's something that is a magnifier that you don't necessarily get from another financial advisor, because they don't have the training in how to connect with people as well. They don't have the training to do this, to be at ease in front of a camera like this as much as I do. It becomes a magnifier. Most people would look at it and they go, "Oh, he got a theater degree. Why the heck is he going to be going into finance?" But instead, it became a magnifier, and it's actually a way that I can actually connect with you right now, even easier than other people do. Not an imperfection, a magnifier. And the same goes for you. If you feel just take a little tangent here. If you feel insecure about something, that you have an imperfection, I encourage you to think about what context that imperfection could instead become a magnifier for your achievement. Whether it's that you're very you might go, oh, I'm too sensitive or something like that. But the truth is, you're extremely good at connecting with people, and maybe that's what makes you really good to have around as a friend. And as a friend, that is your magnifier, and you're one of the best friends people can have. That kind of thing. I encourage you to think in terms of that. I'm also going to bring this back around to finance now. Why? Because every single asset that you have that you can invest in has different characteristics. For instance, stocks are all about they're more volatile growth. Bonds, not nearly as volatile, but you're in. Actually, let me put that a little bit better. Not nearly as volatile, but you're not getting quite as much growth. So their average is, I tried to make that average a little bit less steep. Real estate is somewhere in the middle, because sometimes it tends to boom like it is now, and then and it holds its value. But so real estate is somewhere in the middle between bonds and stocks. So real estate might be something like that. Oh man, these are all just approximations, people. These are not meant to be hard and true graphs. So forgive me for my drawing abilities. So each of these, in their own right, has their own characteristics, has their own rate of return, has their own volatility, and all of that. This is where it becomes about context. When we're thinking in terms of context, in terms of your finances, the big important thing that you got to be thinking about is, what are your goals? What are your goals? A lot of people, it's really exciting to be thinking in terms of, oh, I want to get my return to be as big as possible. I want a 12% return. I want 50% return, something like that. It's really tempting to think in terms of that. But the truth is that if you want to get the potential for that kind of return, you're also going to have to deal with the ups and downs here, the volatility that's going to come with that. You're risking a lot. So it's better to go back in terms of, what are your goals? If your goal is, you know what, I want to put some money aside, and then next year I want to be able to take that money out and have pretty much the same amount of money there as I put in, because I need it for something. Do you think that, if we got this portfolio here, and what happens if next year happens to be right there? Suddenly you've lost a lot of money. Because of your goal, you need about the same amount of money in 1 year. A much better option would be this one, bonds. Suddenly, the lower return and the low volatility of a bond portfolio, because of the context of your goals, what a lot of people view that as boring, as an imperfection, suddenly bonds become the perfect choice for you to put that money. It all becomes about, what are your goals? Each of your different things you can invest in has different characteristics like that, different imperfections. Like, for instance, volatility in stocks has a lot of ups, lots of downs. If you have a long time horizon where you're like, oh, I'm not going to need to retire for 40 years, then the potential for growth that you're getting with the stocks ends up making that much more the perfect choice for you. You might want to lean more heavily towards that in your portfolio. If you take nothing else away from this video, the whole point is, there are no such things as imperfections. It's all about context. In the right context, any imperfection becomes a strength. Bonds are strong in times when you need to have a certain level of income, certain level of investments at a certain time period. Stocks are when you need to have growth and you can withstand the ups and downs. Real estate, especially like your house. Your house is for a lot of people, it's your biggest investment.
in that context, buying a house makes a lot of sense. Whereas you wouldn't want to go jump right into buying an investment property or something like that. It's all about context. What are your goals? That's what it always comes down to. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, oh, you know what, I want to start investing, I don't know where to start, and you start to feel yourself going towards that place of I want to get as much money as possible, I encourage you, stop. Take a step back. Instead, ask yourself, what are your goals? The specific things you're going to need that money for. Your goals ends up creating the context for you to choose what investments to go from there. And at that point, you might be surprised to discover that the investment choice that you thought was, oh, that's so boring. That's I really don't like that. It's got a lot of strings attached in these ways. Once you identify and have clarity over your goals, you might be surprised to find that maybe that is exactly what you want. I just wanted to do that so that they all three have arrows pointed at them. And that's it for today. Just wanted to kind of, I think it's such a cool lesson to learn from Olympiads, that Olympiads are amazing athletes. They're amazing competitors. They've achieved so much. And the truth is that they've been able to do that because it's all about the context that they've put themselves in. So in life, I encourage you to rethink, reframe your imperfections and find the context in that they can become strengths, your own personal strengths are what makes you unique as a person. And I encourage you to find those contexts so you can celebrate yourself. And also with your finances, I encourage you to really focus on what the context is, what the goals are that you're needing this money for. Once you know that, then you're going to know which kind of assets you're going to need in order to be able to reach those goals. And their imperfections will actually become the strengths that you need for your goals. Your goals becomes the context of your finances. Thank you all so much. My name again is Henry. I am your friend in finance. Once again, give us a like on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you have any questions about how you can apply some of these things in your own life, how you can go about and creating the context in your finding the context of your finances so you can really start to hone in on what your goals are and how to accomplish those goals. So go ahead and sign up for book an appointment with us. The link is in the description. I encourage you to click on that, sign up with either me, Chris, or Bob. We would love to be able to help you out. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Have a good day.